The factors of economic growth are the things to help your country make money. Factors of production. There are 5 factors of production that influence economic growth, which is GDP within a country: natural resources, human capital, physical capital, entrepreneurship, and literacy rate. GDP is your price tag. It's how much your country is worth. It stands for gross domestic product, and it's the total value of all the goods and services produced in a country in one year. It measures how rich or poor a country is, and it shows the country's economy if it's getting better or getting worse. Raising the GDP of a country can improve the country's standard of living. The standard of living is how well the citizens in your country live. So the higher a country's GDP, the better standard of living for the people within that country. The same factors impact a country's GDP and the standard of living. The first one is natural resources. Natural resources are all the things found in or on the earth, the gifts of nature. All these resources are limited, and examples are land, water, plants, air, timber, minerals, oil. Countries can use these natural resources or they can sell them. And if they sell them, these natural resources can increase GDP for their country. The second is human capital. Human capital are all the skills, talents, education, and abilities that human workers possess or have, and the value they bring to the marketplace. So examples would be computer reading or writing skills, talents, abilities, and healthcare for workers. So when nations that invest in the health, education, and training of their people will have a more valuable workforce that produces more goods and services. So examples may be paying for your citizens to have healthcare so they are better workers and they can go to work on time and be there more. You can also pay for your workers to have certain training so they can be better workers for you and they can make you more goods. And more goods equals more money, higher GDP. The third is physical capital. These are all the goods that are produced in a country and then used to make other goods. So examples would be tools, equipment, factories, technology, computers, lumber, machinery, the physical things that you need to do your job. The more capital goods your country has, the more goods and services you can make. So for example, the more factories you have in your country, the more goods you can make. The better tools you have in your country, the better goods you can make. And more goods and better goods equals more money and more GDP. Entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurs are people who provide the money to start and operate a business. These people risk their own money and time because they believe their business ideas will make a profit. They bring together all the natural human and capital resources to produce their goods or services to be provided by their business. So the more businesses they make, the more money that they make, GDP for their country will go up. Literacy rate. Literacy rate is the percentage of people in a country who can read and write. The more educated people you have, the more money they're going to bring into your country. A high literacy rate equals a high standard of living equals a high GDP. A low literacy rate equals a low standard of living and a low GDP. So our summary for today. GDP is how rich or poor a country is. There are 5 things that help increase GDP or to make your country money. Natural resources. You can invest in taking things from nature to sell. Human capital. Investing in your employees and your citizens. Physical capital. Investing in the physical stuff needed to do your job. Entrepreneurs. Investing in new ideas. Literacy rate. Having citizens who can read and write. The higher the GDP, the higher the standard of living for the people in your country. So you want a high GDP for your country.